Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, it is that time of the week, that time of the night. It is it's time for me to have some technical difficulties to get this goddamn show on the road, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, welcome to the Old Humble Distilling Company Happy Hour version 2.0. My goodness, we're live. And I am your host, the Old Humble guy. Says so right there. That's how you know who I am. I'm the owner of the Old Humble Distilling Company, maker of fine spirits like Old Humble Distilling Company Special Reserve, Old Humble Distilling Company Straight Whiskey, and the all new, delicious, nutritious, and makes you better dancer, Old Humble Distilling Company Double Oak Rye. Let's bring in our co-host, the talented and brilliant where's she at? Lisa. Where's the button? Mike. Quit fucking around, Mike. Come on. Get the right screen up here. There you go. Lisa. Cheers, Lisa, my co-host. How you doing, my lady?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
The whole show, or are you gonna bail on me? And I don't
I'm probably gonna bail on you for a little bit to finish this motion.
Okay.
So
Tell me the motion is something like this. Because that'd be a pretty dope ass motion.
It would be. It would be. And I may use that in case this has a hearing.
I think it would be awesome.
I know, right?
I think it would be totally
like
awesome.
Some interpretive dance in the lawyer costume in the middle of the courtroom.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be like, like pull off the pantsuit, whatever you wear, I don't know, in a courtroom, I guess, suit, and then like underneath be the leotard, and like they have the breakaway clothes, just like whoosh.
Like the Adidas pants.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Do that.
Cape too, like underneath the suit jacket.
No limits asked what I was listening to. I don't like. Could y'all hear what I was listening to? Could chat listen to what I was hear what I was listening to? I couldn't hear it on my phone. Could y'all hear what I was listening to? Could y'all? If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. I can't find my cursor on the screen.
I don't do that kind of law.
Yeah, she doesn't do real law. She does corporate law. Contract shit.
That's not what I do either.
She kicks widows out of their homes.
I used to do that.
Okay, No Limits could barely hear music, so they could hear the music in the background. What I was listening to in the background was Ryan Adam Wells. In fact, he'll be playing at the distillery this weekend. I was listening to it in the background. I thought it might bleed through, but I couldn't figure out how to get the screen to come through. If I can find my Spotify app on my phone, I'll play some Ryan Adam Wells. I will play some Ryan Adam Wells in a minute. In fact, you know what? I may be able to pull it up on the tubes, and we will preview.
What just happened? Where'd you go, Joe?
Yeah. Technical difficulty theater that we do. That was it. Oops.
Did you yell at Mike?
Yeah, Mike's just a twat. Anyway, yeah, I hit a button and it closed my screen. It happens. It happens. Ryan Adam Wells. He's a great performer, and he will be playing at the distillery. He was the featured performer on our Old Humble date night boxes that we sold a few months back. He is I think this is it. this one, I think, was the song I was listening to before. I'll find out in just a second because it's going to play in the background in my ears. And if it was the right song, then I will play it for everybody else. So how's your week been, Lisa? Lisa, how's your week been? Did I lose Lisa? That is the song. I lost Lisa? Lisa's gone. All right. I did not kick Lisa off the show. She just fell off. That's not my fault, as far as I know. Let's look over here at chat. Let's say hi to everybody in chat. Let me scroll up. Cheers to Mooskow. You are first. You win the award for being first in chat today. McTubis, cheers to you. No Limits, cheers to you, my man. Eric, I saw you join the Vid Houston YouTube community here in Houston. Yeah, this is the right one. Welcome to that party. That's going to be a fun time. Cheers, goddamn bacon. Nice to have you on. Okay, this one I need to mute because that is loud in my ears. I had to mute the other page there. Lisa's back. Good. There she is. Welcome back, Lisa. I don't know what happened. Where'd you go?
No, I logged in
To
StreamYard.
Oh, so you could be the full-on co-host. Right now, I'm just going back through chat right now, saying hi to everybody who popped up in chat. No Limits, goddamn bacon, Mooskow. And Tuna is here.
Tuna's here.
Tuna. Yes, Tuna, you missed dating profile night. It was an ironic night. I'll go so far as say that, and I will not get any more in depth than that. Good evening, JVH. Yeah, I won't go any deeper into the irony of the night. Feed him to the cat. Okay, but I do want to play in the background. I have my man Chrome tab. There it is. This one? Yeah. That's the audio. Ryan Adam Wells, his album, Beers About Songs, is it's very excellent album. Go to Spotify, download it, play all his music constantly. He's on Bandcamp too, and he's an amazingly fun, fantastic artist. And he will be playing at the distillery this weekend, and this is one of my favorite songs that he plays. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ryan Adam Wells.
And I drink like a fish, and I talk like a hippie. I act like I'm a kid, and I dress like a cowboy. I sing like a man, but I don't love like no one else, goddamn. That Indiana dirt is caked thick around my heart. Kentucky bluegrass grows out of my chest and on my arms. And that California sun was beating hard upon my hide. But when it's all said and done, in Texas I will lie. Cause I cuss like a sailor, and I drink like a fish. I talk like a hippie.
I think I can get away playing this entire song.
And I dress like a cowboy. I sing like a man.
We'll find out.
But I don't love like no one else, goddamn. I think violence is a weakness. There's always something better. But you talk shit about my family, and I'll leave you stranded in the desert. And I'll argue for your honor, Lord. It's words that make the man. I bet $100 my tongue is stronger than your last boyfriend's hands. Well, I cuss you like a sailor, and I drink like a fish. I talk like...
Excellent artist. Unless I remove that. I don't want to get kicked off the air. I don't think we're not gonna play more than 2 minutes of his songs, but you can find him obviously on the YouTubes, because I just had him from the YouTubes. You can find him on Spotify. You can find him on Bandcamp. You can find him on all the places you find music. And like I have said like a half dozen times already, he is a fantastic artist, and we tricked him into playing at the distillery. I am so excited. I love it when I trick Ryan into playing at the distillery. I'm like, dude, we're going to have horses that you can pet and stuff. He's like, really? And he comes, and then I'm like, just kidding. Pick up your guitar and play, monkey. Come on. Then he plays for us. It's great. It's fantastic. He's a fantastic guy, and extremely gullible, easy to trick. I think he even likes playing at the distillery, which makes it great. That's why it's so easy to trick him, because he kind of likes playing at the distillery. So there you go. There you go. That's Ryan playing this weekend from 1 to. He'll be there, I think, at 1:30, and he'll be playing until I think 3:30. But our doors open at 1, and he plays and we'll be there till like 4 or 4:30, something like that. Yeah. So there you go. All right, Lisa. What day is it? It's Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Today is the 9th?
Yes.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
computer says, which is really the only way I know what day it is.
Yeah. See, in March of 2020, a couple weeks into the pandemic, when like all the days started running into each other, I started posting daily on Twitter of what day it is, reminding myself that it's garbage day, today is Thursday, March, whatever. You're wearing the gray shirt today, so that I could like remember like what day of the week it is specifically, and what I needed to do that day specifically. And then it turned into now it's turned into a daily post of what day it is, and some stupid trivia fact. And over the course of time, since March of 2020, there have been only 2 occasions where I have intentionally posted something that I knew that I wasn't certain was true. One of them was a fact that I kind of made up, but made sense that it was probably accurate. And the other one was just the thing that I just full on made up. I don't remember what the thing was that I full on made up, but the factoid that I posted that I'm fairly certain was accurate was that the moon cycle has no correlation to the number of births that happen. However, more people get pregnant during the new moon than the full moon, at least before electricity was invented. And
okay,
it has nothing to do with the gravity of the moon. It has nothing to do, because the gravity of the moon is the same all 4 weeks out of the month. Has nothing to do with gravity, has nothing to do with lunar cycles, has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that it's darker on nights when it's a new moon. And that was our ancestors' version of a paper bag. And it makes sense that more babies would be conceived on the extra dark nights, because those are the nights that either the women were more likely to find their men attractive, or the men were more likely to find their women attractive, or mutually find each other more attractive, as opposed to full moon nights when you could actually see your partner and you're like, no, we're going to pass. So that was the only fact that I've posted over the last year and a half or so that was not certain that it was an actual fact, but I'm also fairly certain you can't prove it right or wrong. So I'm sticking with the notion that that's actually true, unless somebody can prove it wrong.
you're a mess.
I mean, it seems reasonable, right?
Yes, it does. But still.
Yeah. I mean, no. All right. So we're going to have this discussion. No Limit says he disagrees that the gravity is the same because the tides are more severe when the moon is full. That has nothing to do with the change in gravity of the moon. The moon is still the same moon when the moon is full. The moon doesn't get smaller when it's a half moon or a crescent moon than when it's a full moon. It doesn't go away when it's the new moon. It's still there. You just can't see it because it's there in the daytime. The moon is still the moon. It's the whole size, the full size of the moon. It's still there. The whole moon, all the rocks, all the cheese, all the toe jam, all the little Martians who are living in the craters. They're all still there.
On the moon.
You just can't see. They visit. That's like their summer home. You just can't see it. Now, what the lensing effect of gravity, the position of the moon and the gravitational effect, the position of the moon, yeah, that's a thing. But that's the same gravity. When the moon's here and the sun's here, it's the same gravity as when the moon's here, or when the moon's here, when the moon's here. It's the same moon. It's the same moon. It's the same moon. Doesn't change. It's the same gravity. That doesn't affect nothing. You can't even feel it because you're being held to the earth by the earth. This giant ball of dirt and rock and boogers and snot and water and hedgehogs and gophers and snakes and rats and pelicans and all the other stuff that's on the earth is holding you to the earth. You can't even feel the damn moon's gravity. Goodness gracious. The earth's flat anyway, so who gives a shit? The earth is not flat. I'm probably going to talk about that one week on. Are you working over there?
Yeah.
You're doing your homework during our nonsense hour? Golly, it's Lisa.
Not homework, it's work.
Is it at home? Are you at home?
It is at home.
Then it is homework.
Welcome to my office.
Bull Rush made it. Cheers. Oz Mechanics made it. Yo, Oz, what's up? Another member of the Vid Houston community.
Of the what Houston community?
Okay, so there's this. Yes, Bull Rush. I will be at the distillery this weekend from 1 to 4 o'clock. As a matter of fact, I'll be at the distillery with the venerable Ryan Adam Wells playing. We're going to have a whole party and it's going to be fun. Vid Houston YouTube community is this community that I stumbled across of local Houston area YouTubers. We swap ideas, swap stories, kind of support each other. Oz Mechanics is one of those guys in that group. He has his own YouTube channel where he refurbishes and rebuilds and repairs automobiles. And he's actually a really fun guy to talk to too in real life, which is cool. When you meet people in real life and they're actually fun and interesting to talk to. We are doing, with this Vid Houston group, we are doing this thing called the Vlogmas 24 Days of Christmas. It is a thing that has apparently been going on, I think, since 2014, I want to say. Or basically you post a video every day from December 1st through December 24th. Holy shit. It is a steady drumbeat of having to record and post videos. I started doing it with a live video. My first video I did was a live video. We are on day 9 of the Vlogmas challenge. And it turns into kind of a grind where you have to like this tyranny of the schedule, and you have to I'm scanning through chat real quick. No, Bull Rush. Did you change your profile after the show, Lisa?
No.
He says fix it like it was broken.
Yeah, no, I've been a little busy at work since then.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah.
So no, not yet. Changes, I'm sure, are pending. Yeah, you're going to get one of those pictures of you holding the fish, right? On a boat, holding up the fish that you caught. You can do that, right?
Wait. Fish.
Yay! What? That's a Nemo.
It is a Nemo,
Clownfish.
but it's also supposed to be floppy. But apparently it does not flop anymore. I'm like, I just opened this and charged it up tonight.
Aw.
So, and the zipper is already broken.
Well,
and,
make it tell us a joke.
Oh, the fish.
Because it's a clownfish. Get it?
It is a clownfish.
Ha ha ha.
Haha. Oh, Jeff with a G would appreciate this.
He would. Jeff appreciates a lot of things, but he's in New York right now, and it's after 11 o'clock, and he's probably going to go to sleep. My mini blogs are better on DMT. What is DMT?
That was my question.
What is DMT? I need to know more. Better on daily mountain time? Downloaded mountain time? Anyway.
Tuna says my clownfish is a snack.
Yes. Oh, that's right. You can do that too. You do that. You pay attention to chat.
Oh, no, I'm
You're doing homework. You're not even with us. God, put you in timeout.
I know.
Boop. Bye. Go to study hall, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right, you can come back.
No. We'll come back later.
I don't know when you're ready to come back or not. I can't see. I don't know. I can't read your sign language.
Yeah, I can I bring myself back?
Whoop. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, cool. It's a drug my brain produces. Okay, so my mini blogs are better on DMT, which is a drug my brain produces when I'm dreaming. Okay, I'm down with that. Anyway, so the 21 days, the 24 days of Vlogmas, 2021 challenge. It's 24 posts. I've done 9 so far, and I'm trying to keep them to about 6 minutes. That's my goal, is to target them to a 6-minute chunk. I pre-record them kind of in this same format of what's on my mind today. The other day I had the last couple of days have been the almighty algorithm. I did 3 days when I was talking about the formatting of the videos, live versus edited, pre-recorded versus live semi-edited like this. And I like this format the most, where I can like pre-record it, talk about what I'm doing, then download the video and post it up to YouTube. It feels edited, it looks edited, it feels finished, and then boom, it posts up and we're done, and I'm done for the day. And I can record 2 or 3 at a time and post them up, bam, 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 schedule the posts out. I've learned a couple of things, and I talked about this the last couple of episodes, where if I start with the title panel, people don't get past the title panel. So I have to start like this, and then go to the title panel, and then start with the show. But that's kind of behind the scenes type of stuff. The last couple of posts have been, I think the last one for sure was about the almighty algorithm and whether or not it's evil. Spoiler alert, it's not evil. It's just neutral. The people using it are evil, but that's just because they're terrible. So the idea, and I had my rye whiskey and coffee for the first time on, I guess it was yesterday, because I recorded Wednesday's show and Thursday's show. And I said the words that my coffee tastes like I'm not going to get a lot of work done today. And spoiler alert, I did not get a lot of work done on Wednesday. My coffee tasted that good. And we will have a new signature cocktail tonight, right around 10 o'clock. And I will introduce that when it introduces itself through my door. I'm better in my dreams. Who got banned? All right. I'm going to fiddle with chat here and drug your brains on. Yeah.
Lisa's I don't know why Tuna's upset.
Because you bailed. I've sent you to timeout. She sent herself to timeout. She's over there nerding out, doing work, reading nerd stuff, doing nerd stuff. Nerd Lisa. Bye. Uh, God is great, whiskey is good, and people are evil. That's a song, if I'm not mistaken, right, Eric? And I think I like that song. People are evil. Are people? Nah, people aren't evil. I've actually invited Lisa to have this discussion with me at some point. On the show, Lisa, one of these days, we're going to have the discussion of whether or not evil is. And I'm going to take the counter position that evil is not. You're going to say that evil is. Because we've had this discussion briefly in the past. And I'm full on shorthanding it. We've had this discussion in the past where I've said, I kind of mentioned offhanded that, evil is a social construct that doesn't really exist. And you're like, no, it really exists. I'm like, not if there's no people around, then there's no evil around. And then you're like, but yeah, it does. And it's like, no, if you're the only person on an island, who gives a shit if you kick the hedgehog into the ocean? And you're like, well, that's evil. Like, says who? The hedgehog. But who gives a shit what the hedgehog says? He's in the ocean drowning. Who cares?
Okay.
So
the clownfish is losing its stuffing. I'll be right back.
Okay. The clownfish is losing its stuffing should be like a secret phrase for spies. See, yeah, exactly. You tell her, Tuna. She's off doing work, getting paid, and not having nonsensical, dumb conversations with us about nonsensical nonsense. See, that's what she gets. Go. And that's why Nemo is losing his stuffing, is because he's sad, because she's abandoning us and making she's back. Oh, goodness gracious. And I've also got this dumb lingering cough from allergies, and it's beginning to get on my nerves, but it does have a side benefit. I'm going to have some peanuts because they help I got the munchies. Don't tell anybody. But it has the benefit, I go out, I have a cough. So to keep everybody calm and shit, I wear my mask. But when I cough, people back the fuck off of me. It doesn't matter if we're in a crowded space. I just went to my son's concert earlier this evening. It wasn't a crowded auditorium because it was a high school concert, but there was people there. And people so if you're somewhat introverted and you don't like being around people to begin with, just, a good healthy sneeze or cough, that gives you a nice 6 or 8 foot radius around you. Great way to have some privacy. Let's see here. Yeah, Tuna, I believe somebody has. Moose Cow's back. Cheers. Somebody has mod privileges. You can drop that link for Bull Rush's show or Bull Rush's channel. So do that, mods. Take care of. I think McTubus, you're still here, right? McTubus, drop that link. Somebody drop that link, for crying out loud. Okay, so what was I talking about earlier? What was I talking about? Oh, the Vlogmas challenge. These, by the way, if anybody else wants to come join us, let me find this invitation tab. The Vlogmas challenge it's 24 posts, any length, but it's consistent posting through the month of December up to Christmas Eve. And as you can see, I've gotten more festive in my office. I've got the garland hanging. There will be more festiveness as the month wears on. See, even the language that I use, this is like a slog. And I like the Christmas season. I like doing the stuff. I like the tree, doing the tree and decorating the house. We just kind of build up to it because usually right before Thanksgiving, we go on a little mini vacation this year. We went on a mini vacation to State Park up the way. And then we do Thanksgiving with the big family stuff. And then we're just like exhausted and we relax for the whole weekend. And we're just like, pardon me. We're like, I don't want to do anything. We got a nice 4-day weekend and we rest and relax. And we don't really want to go and get the tree. We have family over and we chill and we relax. And then like the next week we get our tree up and we start to like clean everything up and set up a landing zone for all the decorations and stuff. And then we get the tree. And then the next week, so over the course of this week, we've been dragging out decorations. This weekend we'll have the lights outside. We'll have the lights up inside. We build. We like the steady drumbeat as we build up through the month of December. And by the time Christmas comes around, we're fairly well decorated. But then we don't want to take the shit down until like the end of January. We're real slow about taking our stuff down. So that's how we do it. Did I post the link? There it is. There's a link. If y'all want to join me, go right ahead. As I mentioned, nobody reads the notes for these shows. But as I mentioned in the notes, I have no fucking idea what I'm going to talk about today. But we're like an hour in, give or take. We're 30 minutes in. Holy shit. We're 30 minutes in. You're welcome to join me. Lisa had a busy. Oh, goodness. Rye helps with a cough. There we go. But the Vlogmas challenge, what I've learned, okay, doing 9 videos. We might cut this short if I can't breathe. Doing 9 videos in 9 days. What I've learned is there are benefits to editing videos that you don't get when you do semi-live productions. Like semi-live productions are easy to do. You prep up the graphics ahead of time. You prep up the graphics ahead of time. Hey, Mooskow, drop No Limits TV in there too, if you don't mind. You prep up the graphics ahead of time. You get everything set up as you're doing the show. You post up your graphics and you post up the panels, and if you have music, you play the music on the side. If you want to, you don't have to. I have for the last 9 days. Another shot of rye, please. It's like cough syrup, but tastes good. I don't have any ice out here. Yeah, I do. I have some ice right here. But here's one thing that you goodness. One thing that I don't do with these semi-live shows, these pre-recorded live shows, recorded live in front of a studio audience. One goodness. I have to mute this for 1 second. Dang it. Anyway, it has to be done in one take. If you don't do it in one take, you don't get it done right the first time. Like whatever goes wrong, you have to start over from the beginning. That kind of sucks. It took me 3 tries to record episode 8. My microphone died. I accidentally turned off the screen. And then something else. I lost my train of thought in the middle of it and went like 8 or 9 minutes. I'm like, I can't do this. So I cut that. It was trash. Threw it away. But that's one of the big drawbacks. But one of the other big drawbacks is I don't watch the videos. So I don't watch the videos. So there's a chance to learn and get better. And if I'm not taking notes about the show right after I do the show, I forget. And there's a lot of tools and stuff that I need to get, and I'll have them for the distillery when we start doing live shows there. But one of the things that is a benefit when you're doing an editing run for a show is you have to watch that fucking show like 80 times when you do the edit, because you get all the raw clips and you drop them in. You do your transitions, you do your connections, you trim it, you do all the stuff, and you're watching this stuff like dozens and dozens and dozens of times, to the point where you just get tired of seeing it. But you are intimately aware of what's going right and what's going wrong. And then you can be all like, oh, I need to do this different next time. I need to do this different next time. I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't got patience for that shit. And that's also something you lose if you have a third-party editor. You know, like you take your raw footage and send it off to an editor. That editor knows what you can do better. But he doesn't necessarily tell you. But here's the biggest problem I have with actually editing video footage. It's not the act of doing it. It is that the screen that I get to see the editing work is about that big, because I have a 14-inch screen here. It's a little bit bigger than that. It's about that big. It's about 50% bigger than my phone. So the panel that I can actually see what I'm doing is teeny tiny on this screen, and it sucks. So for the foreseeable future, until I get a bigger monitor or 2 monitors. Oh man, it would be so cool to have 2 monitors. 3, bam. Be like in a control panel. Bam, bam, bam. That'd be pretty fucking cool. And then, I could be able to edit video stuff that way. But I've also learned, and one of the things that I'm very good at, I learned from a very early age when we were doing live video and live shows at the Student Video Network back at the University of Houston, is when time's up, time's up. You've got a budget of time. You use that budget of time. You use it sparingly, use it wisely, and then when you're done, you're done. Roll credits, go home. Try your damnedest not to cram a 30-minute show into a 6-hour window, because then you got dead air and it sucks. Speaking of dead air, kidding, not dead air. Speaking of things that don't suck, we have a special guest this week. The one and only Bull Rush. Cheers, my man.
Hey,
welcome to the party.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that wonderful intro. It's beautiful.
I trust you have a cocktail close at hand.
Yeah, something like that.
Good.
I've got a cigar.
Ooh, what kind of cigar you got?
It's not a name brand or anything. There's a guy over in Old Town Spring, Black House Cigars is his shop, and it's one of his cigars that from over there. They're really the only ones I care to smoke anymore.
Cool. Well, I know a guy out of California. He grew up in Humble, moved out to California, has a cigar shop or a cigar factory in is it Venezuela or Colombia? There's a cigar factory in Colombia and Dominican Republic, and he's based in California. Excuse me. He makes Divine Leaf cigars. They are the best cigars I've ever had. And when we start our cigar club at the Old Humble Distilling Company, his cigars are going to be the featured cigars that we have. So the details of the club I'm still working them out, but it'll be something along the lines of like a $5 monthly membership, $50 annual membership. When you show up to the distillery, you get a cigar. You get a cigar each month. If you miss a month, you miss your cigar. But you've got to actually show up to get your cigar that month.
Get smoked.
And then we'll have seating outside for people to smoke their cigars, because open flames and alcohol are not usually good to go together. But he also knows this fella named Fred Minnick. Do you know that name?
It doesn't ring any bells.
Yeah. Whiskey dorks know that name. Fred Minnick is a national whiskey guru, I guess is the the proper word. A wizard of whiskey arts, a national spirit advisor. See what I did there? And he knows Fred. Oscar knows Fred. Fred knows Oscar. They're good friends. I guess they're good friends. You know, I may get a chance to see Fred on my show and me on Fred's show.
Cool.
Very exciting about that. Very, very exciting about that. But that's for the future.
I was wondering you come on my show.
Yeah. I'll come on your show. I'll do anything. As long as I get to say something about whiskey, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to have you on for your singing voice, so.
You don't know what my singing voice sounds like. Nobody knows what my singing voice sounds like.
That's the scary part, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can sing. I don't know. I doubt it.
I can. I mean, doesn't mean I can sing on key.
Or well. Yeah,
that's true. On beats or on key or on.
I'm thinking your whiskey distilling skills far supersede your singing abilities.
I think you're right. That's probably fair. That's probably fair. I mean, I'm when nobody's around, I sing great.
Yeah.
Just like this is also a true fact. Me and Brad Pitt are indecipherable twins. We look identical when the lights are out. And that is a fact.
It's got to be pretty dark out there.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Like real dark.
I look just like Brad Pitt. If this was a pitch black room, just like this, and he was standing right next to me, you wouldn't be able to tell us apart. That's how much I look like Brad Pitt with the lights out.
That's true.
It is, and that is a fact. Put that back down here. So tell me about I was going to say tell me about No Limit. Actually, No Limits is down here in the green room. Are you actually? I'm going to bring him up, see if his video is actually working. It's not. All right, I'm going to put him back in the green room, see if his video ever turns on. Tell me about this weekly show that y'all do that rotates between channels. Is it weekly or is it nightly?
Weekly.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to do this stuff every night. I got a job and stuff, my wife. I think we started like a couple years ago. Nick did. We're just basically some old dudes making fun of just talking about shit, you know.
Because I think the last couple of times that I popped in, it's been well after the initial conversation and into just the grab assing part of the show. Because most of these live shows, and I try to, most of these live shows, mine included, but I try to keep mine out of this pattern. Most of them, there's like a scripted starting point, topics they want to discuss, things they want to air out, things they want to talk about, and then after about 30 to 45 minutes, it kind of just evolves into, so what you doing? What are you up to? What are you drinking? What are you having? What's for dinner? And then it's just like a conversation, which is fine for the next like however long it goes. But if you miss that first, the topical part, the first part of it, like you've missed the point. Like, and then after that, it's just, you know, you're popping into a conversation. You're hanging out in the band hall with everybody else talking around.
Well, we usually run it a little bit different. Like we keep our McTubis can attest to this. We keep our viewership guessing.
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes we'll start with a topic. Sometimes we'll have a topic in mind, but we get sidetracked at the beginning with other shit, and then we get to the topic at the end of the.
I'm guilty of this.
So it's just whenever we generally start whenever the hell we want to. We say it's 8 p.m. Eastern, but really we just start it whenever we want. We've never been the only constant on those in this series of episodes is that we've never started on time. And that's
fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
We've always been late. Well,
see,
we've always been on time. Like we say we're on time, and like, but everyone else says we're late, but we start on time because
they were early.
Yeah, they're just early. Like we started on our time. So
yeah, who shows up early? But yeah, I mean, I went 3 weeks, three consecutive weeks where I wanted to talk about the history of alcohol, where it came from, how it was made, what it was, what the whole like
that's
history
interesting.
of it.
See, that's too highbrow for our viewers.
Well, I never got around to the actual topic until the third weekend.
Yeah.
When I finally, and even then, it was just kind of glancing at the facts and the timeline as I wandered off into other topics. But I mean, me and Lisa had shit to talk about. We had, there was stuff going on. I don't remember what the stuff was, but it was clearly important.
Yeah, like tonight, I didn't really have a topic because, frankly, I was too goddamn busy to worry about it, and we didn't have a set topic. We just shut the shit for a couple hours.
Eric is trying so hard to get in, but his video is here. He is again.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Alcohol kicked in.
He was there and he was gone.
Like a groundhog.
Yeah.
A prairie dog. There you go.
Prairie dogs. Yeah, that's
prairie
it.
Dogs.
Man, so here's the thing about prairie dogs. You don't see them when you drive out into the fields and whatnot of the places where they live, and they live all over the place. You drive out there and you don't see, and it just looks like a field. And till the one time you see one like little brown ball of dirt moving.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the hell is that? And you focus in on that one thing, and you're like, oh, it was a prairie dog. And then once you see the one prairie dog, you see scores of them, and they're everywhere. They are. Same way with fire ants.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can be wandering out in your field, you're out in your grass, out in your park, wherever. Be perfectly clear, perfectly free, perfectly happy. And then you see one fire ant, and you're like, oh, man, jackass. And you kill him and flick him. And the next thing you know, you're like, what's that? And now you have 1,000 of them on you because you found the one. If you didn't find the one, you'd been fine. But
right. That's like when I was stationed at Camp Pendleton, San Diego, they have several ranges out there, rifle ranges, and there's groundhogs all over the damn place out there.
Yeah.
At those ranges, but you're not allowed to shoot them. Because
of course not.
All the animals on that base are protected animals. Like even the buffalo, you can't do anything to buffalo. You get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean that makes sense. You know what? I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, there's been accidents, but that was with the mortars and stuff. It was unavoidable.
Mortars and stuff.
Well, you can't the dumb animals. They walked right into the mortar range while they were setting off mortars, man. It's not like, and then and this is like you get your forward observer, so like it takes time to radio back,
right?
A ceasefire. But by the time it would have happened, though, there was already mortars in the air. So I'm not joking. It has happened.
No, I'm just picturing, because when we were in South Dakota, we were in Custer State Park and we were seeing the buffalo all over the place. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
they're buffalo. They're like, we're supposed to be here. You're a fucking tourist.
Yeah,
they don't care.
These ones thought that too until they saw one of their buddies get blown up. Then they fucking ran off. They're like, nope.
Oh man, Moose Cow says we need a lady.
Well, she's got the link.
She can come on anytime she wants. The link's up there somewhere. I don't know where it's at. It's up there somewhere. I
just hope Lisa fixed her online dating account.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
the one thing I don't know.
Said we need a lady. I mean, it's not like Lisa's going to be the one who's going to be the one to solve that problem.
Ooh, Jesus.
Oh, is she here? Oh, hi, Lisa. Mom's here.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I got in late last episode. I didn't see what she wrote on the bio, but a couple of pictures were suspect. That's all I really saw on it. I mean, the one where she's the one from 15 years ago, and yeah, I think there were a couple more.
See, last time, back to the buffalo, real quick fun story. When we were in Custer State Park, we were driving through and we saw the buffalo. When we go to ranger, the park station, whatever, and we're looking at all the facts and stuff and the stuff in the museum area. And me and my family were talking about the buffalo we just saw up the road. And this other family said, "Did y'all see some buffalo up there?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's like a ton of buffalo just right up the way." And then I paused for a second. I thought, actually, like a ton of buffalo is like only 2 buffaloes. When you really think about it, like a ton of buffaloes is really just one male and maybe a couple of females. The females are big. Buffaloes they're amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing creatures when you see them up close. And they do not give a shit that you are driving your car there. They're like, just wait for us. We have things to do. We have buffalo stuff. Hang out for a second. We're crossing the road. Maybe crossing the road. Maybe we're just stopping and turning around. We got stuff to think about. Just like chill out. And then you're in your car and you're just like,
problem is like you don't
what am I
you
gonna
need
do?
to, as long as you make an example of one of them, the rest kind of fall in line.
Yeah, but I mean,
But then
buffaloes
again,
and cars do not come out well when you hit a buffalo with one.
oh yeah,
That is not a winning now. Mortars, yes. Mortars do what mortars are designed to do.
yeah, but who has a 105 millimeter mortar on them at all times? I mean, besides me.
But most of us do not travel with mortars in our cars. I mean, I have some, but they're fireworks mortars. They're not like military grade mortars. They're just the general run of the mill, launch stuff up in the air and blow up the.
I think if you had those things, the ATF would be knocking on your door and/or killing your dog.
Yeah, they'd probably kill the dog on principle.
They'd kill it. Well, they just kill the dog for showing up, for making them show up.
Yeah, that's kind of what
It's
they
like
do.
that's their.
The ATF are not the good guys.
None of them are.
They're not. I mean, bravo for the work that they do, I guess. But they're. I cannot remember a story where the ATF were the good guys.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I know they're good at. I know they're good at.
The first story I remember with the ATF was the Branch Davidians in Waco.
I was just about to say they're good at burning buildings down, women and children in them. So, I guess if you have that problem, I guess you can call them.
They just lit the kindling. Somebody else built the fire.
Mm-hmm.
David Koresh was not coming out of that building alive.
FBI had the kindling, and
Oh my God, they fucked that whole operation up.
Yeah,
but David Koresh was still not the good guy. It was a botched, fucked up, dumb, stupid operation from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, he was not coming out alive. He was ready to. I feel sorry for the suckers who believed in that idiot. But anyway, that's Waco. Waco's a fucked up city.
Yeah,
I love you, Waco. Buy my whiskey. I hope your university there goes into the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, I was a kid whenever that stuff happened. So I didn't really know what was going on or didn't understand what was happening at the time until much later. I started reading about it.
Well, Moose Gal was just in the basement for a second. She bounced out.
See,
we need to get her back up there.
They talk a big game, but then
why is this my big head? Come on, we don't need that, Lisa. I think you did that. Shame on you, Lisa. I'm going to blame everything on Lisa because she can't say no.
That's probably a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm gonna start blaming her for stuff too.
Yeah, my legal advisor said it was okay.
Huh?
I can hear you guys.
We know.
Like, I'm right here.
Okay.
All right, Moose Guy will be right back. What's this? See, I just click on when I see my name, I click on the chat. If you want to get your chats highlighted, at me, and then I'll read it. Yellowstone, Montana, the snowmobile tours of Yellowstone. That was we did Rushmore, Devil's Tower, and that was, I know the like the triple play up there.
Oh, it's snow. Is he talking about that white shit that falls on the ground sometimes?
Yeah, I've read about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some of that back in February last year. I collected some of it when it melted, and I'm going to make some whiskey with that. It's going to be nice. Good. And
sure
then
it's not the yellow kind, is it?
No, it's delicious. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our limited edition 72-hour blackout whiskey, which would be like 500 bottles. Very limited run, very limited edition, very limited quantities. And then we'll take that same recipe and turn it into a regular run of whiskey. It's a high rye. It's a high rye traditional bourbon, 50% corn, like 35 to 40% rye, and then 10 to 15% malted barley. So it's got a lot of rye in it. It's going to have a lot of flavor. But the first 500 bottles is going to do a special edition label 72-hour blackout bourbon. And then regular release, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bottles. It's going to be delicious.
Well, that's why I was wanting to come over last weekend, because I emptied my bottle I got from you a while back.
Okay. Well, come on out. Well, yeah, last weekend we had to shut down early. I don't remember what came up, but I had to shut down early and run out. We were going to be open until 4. I had to shut down, I think, around 2:30, almost 3 o'clock is when I closed up doors. And I'll be damned if like as soon as I put the post out, like we're closed, I got to go. We'll be back next week. 15 minutes later, are you open? Are you open? Are you open? Like 4 people. Like,
well, it's fine, because like I was literally
4 people.
I was literally a couple miles away at my mom's house.
Sorry,
visiting them. Not a big deal.
We'll be around. This week will be even better, though. We got Ryan Adam Wells, the one and only Ryan Adam Wells. Nerd. See how long before she realizes she's back in the basement.
No, my phone is dumb. I wanted.
Well, yeah, you are as soon as you get a camera that works, man, you are welcome to join me. I mean, hell, even without a camera, I'll put you on without a camera. That's fine. There she is. Welcome back, Lisa.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I'm done working.
She's done working.
Didn't you say you had how many cats do you have?
9.
9. I just have 1. Well, it's not mine. I don't really like it that much.
We have
a Christmas tree. I'll be right back.
Have I shown the picture of our of the cat we have at the distillery now?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I posted that picture. Let me scroll through. I took a picture of him. Here he is.
How does he interact with your dog, man?
We have. Hang on. Let's get this up here. Boop. Boop. There it is. We have a bona fide, honest to God, feline companion at the distillery. I don't think I've named it yet. I can't remember.
You know that site next door?
Yeah.
Dude, we had I saw a post on it about a week or 2 ago. I don't know if it was legit or not, but this woman posted about a lost cat, and it was someone lost their cat, and the picture was a picture of a goddamn mountain lion, like a small one, like a juvenile. We're like, lady, it's not a cat.
I post shit like that on whenever I go, hello, Moose Gal.
I don't know if she's being legit or if it was just a joke.
I post shit like that all the time. I'll take pictures of like an armadillo that I see in the street. It'll be like lost dog, not a dead armadillo. That's gross. But if I see an armadillo crossing the street, I'll take a picture and go,
well, that's got me thinking now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of a feral hog and tell them someone lost their dog. Like a big 300-pound hogzilla looking feral hog.
Lost cat, not friendly.
Right.
How is Illinois?
Wonderful. Because we don't get a lot of snow, so I'm happy. It just gets very cold. But it's going to be in the 50s next week or sometime soon.
Yeah, it's 80 degrees here still. So
yeah, I was going to say, it is currently
Southeast Texas.
Yeah, he's right down the street from me.
80 freaking degrees?
75 in Humble, Texas.
It's right now.
Wow.
Yeah. When I came in at 9 o'clock, it was 80, 79.
That's cool.
No, it's the opposite of cool.
No, it's not cool. It's warm. It's very warm.
I didn't mean it like that. I just think that it's cool that for the holiday time, it's warm. I mean, that would be a nice change of pace instead of 22 degrees.
Yeah, we're out in our shorts and short sleeves and shorts, raking leaves and mowing the damn lawn at the end of December. It sucks. You should never know that your air conditioner is busted between just Christmas and January 1st. And I have, on several occasions, had to replace an air conditioner between Christmas and January 1st. And it is a shitty world to live in.
Well, you know what happens around where I live? On the hottest time of the summertime,
When people wearing their
our air conditioning unit seems to always want to go out. So try that. Try for a week when it's the hottest time and you have no air conditioning, Mr. Texas. You're not the only one. Okay?
Well, I mean, it happens in August too, but usually, I mean, it happens in August too, but you shouldn't know that your air conditioner doesn't work in December. I mean, that's not when you should know that you are literally in the middle of winter or the end of fall. You shouldn't know these things.
We don't have we don't have winter. We have summer, fall, and then spring.
Do you wish you had winter?
Sometimes.
Like, do you ever look at our pictures and go, how pretty? If it's nice, normal snow. I mean.
Well, when I was in the military, I did like a 4 or 5 week winter survival training. Mm-hmm. And that was not fun. And that was up in the Pocono Mountains.
Yeah.
And that was not fun. It was in the middle of winter.
How cold did it get there?
It was real cold, like below freezing. Below freezing.
Well,
sub-zero at night. During the nights it was sub-zero. And then
it's fun to look at pictures of winter and think it would be nice to visit that, and then come.
Yeah. Well,
not winter.
In the 5 or 6 weeks, after 5 or 6 weeks, we'd all lost between 20 and 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like, and I'll say this on, like, I love filet mignon. I could eat the shit out of filet mignon. I could eat it like all the time. But I can also imagine that after a couple of weeks of eating only filet mignon, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'd be like, yeah, I could have some cereal. Like, you know, I'm like, no matter how nice it is, enough is enough. Like, seriously, I could take like 5 or 6 days of good solid winter and I'm ready to come back. Like, bring it back. Like, February this year was fine. I mean, except for the lack of electricity. That was bad.
Sucks.
But you know, we had a good solid 5 days of winter. That's fine. I'm okay with spreading that around a little bit, you know, giving us 5 days of winter and like sprinkling it in. But man, putting it all together, man.
You truly don't know what winter is if you just get 5 days. Please. I don't want to hear this. Just 5 days of winter.
Oh, I spent 3 winters in Chicago. I know what winters are.
So you can tough it out. So you can tough it out with the best of us.
Hey, I lived through 2 blizzards in Ohio, man.
Okay, you know what winter is.
Of course, I was 0 and 1 years old, but
yeah, I was about to say, wait.
That doesn't count. What do you remember?
I remember snow that was this high. Of course, I was this tall, so it might have only been snow that was this high.
Okay.
Big Tubis, are the Pocono, are they in the Catskill Mountain Range? I can't remember.
I believe they are. The Poconos that's western Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, because my mother's from Pennsylvania. They used to go vacation.
It's like a resort
mountains. Yeah, but they like where we went. I was told we were like in the Catskill Mountain Range, but we're next to the Pocono Mountains or something like that. But definitely the Catskill Mountain Range for that training and stuff. Yeah, man, that was not fun. And I grew up hunting and stuff, and that shit was rough.
Yeah, I mean,
shit was rough.
I don't mind being out in the cold, but I really like going back into the warm. I prefer the cold to the hot.
Yeah,
you can take off layers and get comfortable.
Yeah,
you can put on layers, and if you're too hot, you can take them off.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass to build a fire, though, man. That's the hardest part that we had.
But when it's like, God, in the butt crack of July, and you're in the woods, and like the air's just stale and wet and stagnant, like a damn wet blanket just coating you, and you can't even like move back and forth in a hammock to generate a breeze to cool off, because the act of pushing yourself in the hammock makes you sweat.
Mm-hmm.
God, that is miserable. You can't take off more layers to get cool because you're just like sweltering, and you stay sweltering.
Well, yeah, you can't relax at all.
Yeah, you have to just get in water.
Mm-hmm.
My love. Thank you, sweetheart.
That's why you grab a rubber inner tube and you go down to the river.
Yes, please. So my lovely wife, I just want the one. Here, keep this. I'll eat it, but take the trash. Thank you, my dear.
Lisa, what are you drinking? The eggnog? Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Promised Land.
Say what, baby?
You said my lovely.
My lovely wife.
Do you have any Humble Distillery bourbon in it?
So my sweet, lovely wife just brought me.
In the eggnog.
Yeah, I could tell by the face you made that you got a lot in there.
My lovely wife just brought me a mug of cocoa.
Ooh.
And chocolate cocoa, which is redundant, but cocoa plus Old Humble rye and a little bit of what is that? A marshmallow. That's the word I'm looking for. Makes for a fantastic winter drink.
Yeah.
Damn.
Put bourbon in it?
I put my rye.
Okay.
Old Humble Double Oak Rye, made from
that's what I was wanting to get, man.
captured rainwater by a team of monks.
Well, I tried to go last weekend to see if he was there, but he closed up early.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
I was in the area.
That bull rush guy's coming. I need to fucking close up.
You lied to me. You lied to me.
But this week we're gonna have Ryan Adam Wells playing. We're gonna have snacks made exclusive, custom made snacks just for us.
I don't believe you. I think I'm gonna drive over there, and there's not gonna be anybody there.
Yeah, it's possible there won't be anybody there, but I'll be
That's
there with
cool.
There'll
Me
just
and
be a
Wally.
sign on the door.
me and Wally. will
Haha,
be
just
there.
joking. Haha, JK.
And Ryan. Ryan will be playing a private concert for me.
Oh, nice.
It'll be just me and him. He'll be playing. I'll be like, woo! Play it again. Same song.
Throw your cargo shorts at him.
Oh yeah, that's what I should do. I should collect up all my underwear and fling it at him.
Jesus.
All night long. Oh, that'd be awesome. That'll be awesome. Anyway,
That's nightmare fuel.
yeah, no kidding. My underwear flying at your head. I don't even want to see that. Looking at through chat. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I looked through chat. McTubis is talking about the town in Pennsylvania, something.
Did you just call him McPubis?
No, I said McTubis. Well,
Oh, okay.
McTubis is pretty fucking hilarious. I wish I had called him McPubis.
That would have been funny. I swear you call him McPubis.
Oh my. One where land is on fire. Oh yeah, I know that town.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
The town that's on fire. They can't live there anymore. Ah, good times. That's a resort town now. Nobody's there.
Yeah.
It's nice and quiet.
Yeah, that's based on a true story. Mm-hmm.
It's not just based on a true story. It's like a true story. Like, like based on a true story would be a movie about a town that happened, but like that town was like in Montana or someplace. But like I mean, the documentary is not based on a true story. It is a true
documentary. Oh, okay, I didn't know it was a documentary.
I mean, there's scores of documentaries on that town.
Cool.
I mean, I can Google it because I have a computer in my hand.
Yeah. It's a different state, so it's not Texas, so I don't really care.
Pennsylvania town.
That's
Burning
Pennsylvania. Who cares?
coal.
Yeah.
Burning coal. See, it's like the first one that pops up in the autofill. Burning for over 50 years. HistoryChannel.com. Centralia, Pennsylvania. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Centralia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because I think my mom's from Harrisburg.
True story. It is a true story.
Oh, they're talking about the horror movie in chat.
Oh, so there is a horror movie made based on it.
Apparently.
Okay.
I know nothing.
Armpit of. No, that's not it. It's not the armpit of Pennsylvania. Catskills, something. Where are we at? There's a movie. Okay. Well, yeah, they can just have their own little private conversation. We're fine. Y'all have your chat over there. When you're done talking, you come back and join us. It's fine.
Yeah, we usually don't engage with our chat holes on my show, on the show I'm in.
I mean,
just because you're just asking for trouble.
Oh yeah, I like legit. I have.
You don't want to rile up the retards, you know. You just get the window liquid.
I talked about my Vlogmas crap. I talked about Ryan Adam Wells on Saturday. I have nothing. This is why I can't do a nightly show, because I've got nothing. Like I'll watch the news and then I'll come on. I'll turn on and I'm like, yeah, the news sucked. I got nothing.
Nobody wants to hear the news.
I like
whatever.
I like Lisa's part where she makes fun of the profiles.
Yeah, I like that myself.
Thanks. I did not have time this week to do
your homework.
Did not have the commitment to do
my work at home.
Silent Hill, there it is.
Oh, Silent Hill, yeah. They had yeah, that's fine. I think as far as profiles go, yours is not horrible. Like there's way worse out there.
Yeah, but she finds some doozies.
Well, I'm talking about the ones for the on the girl side, on the girls' bios.
Oh, I got you.
We should do an episode where it pull some of those up. Some of those winners up.
I'm still thinking an excellent episode would be I make a profile and just see what kind of weirdos I get after a month. Just see
you probably wouldn't get any
you're married.
Because I mean, guys don't get
I'm sure there's plenty of weird chicks.
There are, yeah.
And I'm sure they're Russian bots as well. But
yeah.
Maybe I should go find a dude online dating. It worked for one of my brothers.
Yeah, I just don't like the ones I really don't like that bother me are the ones where they got like pictures of their kids and stuff. I don't care for that at all. Yeah, that gets an automatic swipe left for me. Like, you leave your kids off the adult dating site. I don't know why that's so good.
Yeah, but at least they're honest up front that they have kids.
Yeah,
but fine. I don't need pictures of them.
I think it works as a natural filter.
I don't need pictures of them.
Oh, I can see your point there, Bull.
Yeah. And I think Lisa would agree that there are certain natural filters that you put into your profile to filter out certain guys.
Like cats? Like cats. I love cats?
Like cats and children.
Like saying you have more than the two of them.
Look, okay, listen. Lisa has 9. That's nothing. I had a friend who had 12. 12 cats in an apartment. And she got rid of at least one the last time I talked to her.
You see, I'm the weird one that I'd be like, I want to see what that's all about.
The reason why my friend has cats is because by her apartment in New Jersey, the cats are outside and she feels obligated to rescue them and to take them to the vet so they cannot be producing kitties.
Well, I don't care so much about how many cats they have. It's just whenever they start referring to them as their fur babies or their children, I'm like, that's disturbing a little bit. Like, I have a dog. I love my dog, but he's not my kid. He's not my little baby.
No, but a lot of people feel like a pet is part of the family. So I think that's why they do it, Bull.
Oh, they don't have anybody else.
I mean, I would agree that my pets are part of the family, but they are a distinct different.
They're not sitting at the table eating with me.
I agree with that.
My children,
they're not sleeping with me.
Oh.
And I've got a straight up hierarchy. If shit goes down, like in the order of animals that we own, like my dog, then like the next up to go, the first up to go, like the dog stays around. Like I keep the dog around for as long
Unless
as
the
possible.
DEA comes knocking, then you gotta.
Well, yeah, well, he's the one who would alert me that
You got to do the Anne Frank thing and put him underneath the floorboards or something.
But we got the guinea pigs; they're going in the boiler right away.
Yeah,
I'm fattening those little fuckers up, and they're going right to the boiler. I've got a parakeet. There's no meat on that parakeet. I mean, I'm not going to feed that thing. He's going to go out in the backyard. He's gone. The cat can at least keep the vermin away from the grains. But, if it comes down to it.
Cat's not going to do that, dude.
Yeah, the cat's going to
initiate their protocol, and he's just going to, disappear.
Yeah, like the guinea pigs get eaten. The cat is last resort food. The dog
You're not going to find him.
Super duper last resort.
What?
Oliver's a great cat. I love him to death. Don't get me wrong. I don't wish harm on Oliver, and he's an old cat. There's not a lot of meat on him. But I tell you what, if we can't get any ground beef, I'm done. I'm just saying. I've skinned rabbits. I mean, how hard can it be to skin a cat?
You would really eat a cat?
If you're hungry enough, if I can eat a guinea pig, I can eat a cat.
He would not eat Oliver.
Listen, I dissected a cat. I don't want to eat a cat. Okay?
I would much rather catch rabbits and raise them to eat them, and then the rabbits would be up here in the food hierarchy, and the cat would be down here, because the cat is at least theoretically useful, even if he is just a domestic cat.
Yeah, there's plenty of deer and stuff around your area.
Yeah, I mean there's meat to be had if we have to have meat. I'm not terribly worried about it, but the pets are part of the family, but there's definite utility. They're not part of the family the way my kids are part of the family, and there's definite utility to those animals if they cease to be useful in other ways.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not raising cows in the backyard, but if we got to eat the cat, we eat the cat. Sorry, Oliver.
Ew.
What the hell was that?
Listen, I told you I dissected a cat. I can't eat a cat.
Well, I've dissected a frog too, but I'd eat a frog.
No,
I've seen guys get hungry enough to eat tree bark. So
it'd be pretty damn hungry to eat.
I think if you put a cat in front of them, they would have killed that thing and eaten it.
Yeah, you get hungry enough.
I have a friend that told me, because he's been homeless and hungry. He says, when you're in those situations, believe me, you will eat what you got to eat to survive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now, if given the choice, if you have a cat and a rat, the cat's going to be more companionship than the rat. You eat the rat.
Oh, God.
And the thing is, you're probably going to need to eat 2 or 3 rats, but good news.
Oh, my God.
There's going to be 2 or 3 rats. They come in teams.
All right, good. You can eat them for me. I don't even think Lisa could do that.
Have you seen Demolition Man?
No.
They won't even tell you. You just go down to the sewers. And
we were talking about that. If you know how he said he would eat a cat, then he went on this thing about eating rats. And I said, I don't even think Lisa could do that.
I mean, you go catch squirrels and whatnot.
So if you were in the situation, Lisa, where you had to have food to survive, would you be like Old Humble here and eat whatever you had to?
She'll starve.
Would you do it? Or would you be like me and be like, I don't think so?
In the post-apocalyptic world, we won't need lawyers. She'll be on the spits.
Because I honestly don't think I could eat like rats. Just the thought of.
I don't think you've been that hungry in your life.
No, it's not that. It's the fact that they're rats, and who knows where they've been. And sometimes they go.
Let me ask you a question. Would you eat a rabbit?
I've had rabbit before.
Okay, they're both rodents. What's the big deal?
No, rabbits are
because
lupus.
Rats go in sewers, and who knows where they go. And
that's in a city. Where do you think rabbits go? We got wild rabbits here. Where do you think they go?
Well, we had them in our backyard.
And a fryer is where they go.
Yeah, that's where they should go.
But I don't know. Bunnies I can take because I've tried it before. I had Haas and Pfeffer. But I wouldn't want to eat a rat. That would just gross me out.
I don't think I could eat a bunny.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you can.
People always say
honest to God, it looks like chicken stew. Chicken stews, chicken soup. You'd eat it. You wouldn't even know it unless they told you.
People always say that if you're hungry and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have to survive, people always assume humans could just eat anything.
We can.
And we probably could.
Like people eat bugs in like other countries when they have nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's protein.
People eat bugs voluntarily.
People eat people.
I mean,
when they get hungry enough.
Protein it's a huge fad right now.
I've seen people on YouTube eat them with chocolate, those spicy bug challenge thingies. Was that Groovy who did that or someone?
I don't have any idea. But yeah, people, I mean, eating, what is it? Ants on a log? Isn't that what it is? Like celery with
that is celery.
Peanut butter and ants.
Peanut butter that you put
raisins.
peanut butter on.
Raisins.
And then you put raisins. And it's to teach.
It could be ants.
To get kids to eat celery.
Yeah.
Ew.
But you know how you get grown-up men to eat celery.
The wildest thing I ever ate was ostrich.
Guys, you know what I'm talking about.
I've eaten ostrich burger. Because they were giving samples away at the store.
Ostrich burger is not
It was kind of too dry, but I tried it.
It's dry meat, and that's why ostrich didn't become a thing, because it's just not as the textures. But if all you had was ostrich, if we didn't have cows, you'd eat the shit out of ostrich.
But we're saying the animals, Lisa, we wouldn't eat, but then we do eat others. Like, why do we eat cow but not like a bunny or like I was like, ew, rats. So I know
the answer to that question.
Is it because
you can go up to a cow and hit it on the head with a damn hammer? That's why.
The reason we don't eat rabbits, but we do eat cows. Well, it's not a question of rabbits and cows. It's a question of rabbits and chickens, because rabbits used to be much more abundant and much more common among poor folk than chickens. However, chickens are more profitable than rabbits because chickens don't make as many babies. Rabbits make a shit ton of babies.
Yeah.
They fuck like rabbits, which is where the phrase came
from. Yeah, because when I was growing up, we had we raised mostly New Zealanders, and they would have like they would have like anywhere from 8 to 10.
But chickens make two different things that people like. They make eggs and they make chickens. People eat both of those things. Rabbits make one thing that people eat, and that's more rabbits. But they make so much of them that the meat becomes cheap and it doesn't become profitable to breed them and sell them. And also, the infrastructure you need to breed and sell rabbits is much more expensive than the infrastructure you need to breed and sell chickens.
Yep.
So commercially viable meat, chicken wins out over
rabbits. Are also more susceptible to disease than chickens are.
Yeah. So
I never thought of that.
In a commercial, financially driven food economy, chicken wins out over rabbits every time.
All right, you make very good points.
When you're poor, during the Great Depression, when there was no money, rabbit was the meat of choice because it didn't cost anything to keep them. It didn't cost anything to raise them on a local level, on a familial level. They ate the scraps out of the kitchen. They made more rabbits just by accident. You know, you put two of them together and you go inside and you come back out 3 hours later, you have 7 rabbits.
Yep.
That's how it works. And by the time they're eating enough for them to become expensive, you kill them and you eat them. And you have, by the way, 6 more rabbits coming.
You either breed them or, you either breed them or sell them.
And they give you fur, which is nice if you use the fur, but if you don't use the fur, it doesn't really matter.
True.
Which, that's why chicken became more popular, because you could eat the eggs and the meat and you didn't have to throw away all the fur.
Well,
you can do stuff with the feathers.
Yeah, the chickens lay faster overall than the rabbit does.
Yeah, it was pure economy, and that's usually why you'll find cottage economies of rabbit meat, but you won't find large scale rabbit meat economies. You can you go to farmers markets maybe, and you'll find some boutique-y shit in the local areas, but you won't ever find large scale rabbit meat in grocery stores.
That's why you have hogs. That's why they domesticated hogs.
Oh yeah,
because hogs breed pretty quick.
Yeah,
because they breed. Their cycles they can breed 3 or 4 times a year. And have up to a dozen piglets.
They're a scourge
per breeding cycle. That's a lot. That's why we have the feral hog problem that we have here.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you see one, there's a dozen that you don't see.
There's more. Yeah.
And they are prolific breeders. Dirty breeders. Shame on them.
Yeah, but the problem is that they're starting to crossbreed with some of the domesticated hogs here, and they're getting bigger.
Oh.
Yeah, because an average feral hog is about 200 pounds, but they're crossbreeding with these domesticated hogs who are much larger. And now we're starting to see feral hog that are 300 plus pounds, like Hogzilla. They're like 6 feet long, over 6 feet long. That's true, McTuis.
Oh, I never thought about it. That's interesting. Now, as for Chinese food, I don't know, because nothing tasted weird when I have Chinese food. So I don't know, no limit. But I think maybe if you went to China, that could be true.
You can eat snake down here. We have the annual rattlesnake roundup in Texas.
Whoa.
It's been going on for a long time.
How do people eat? How do they make the snake?
You just cut it down the center line, take the skin off, cut it up into cubes, and fry it, or put some.
And just to clarify, if you've eaten Chinese food in the United States, you probably haven't eaten cat. You have to eat Chinese food in China.
Right. That's
maybe you've eaten cat. Maybe. But in the United States, Chinese food is not cat.
Right.
It is what it says it is. Pork, beef, lizard, whatever the hell it is on the menu. I don't know.
And isn't there a country that eat dog? Isn't that the Philippines?
That would also be the Asian
China?
countries. Yeah. Korea, China.
That's a lot of countries that will eat dog.
That was a big deal. One of the last Olympics that were over there. When was it?
One of the most common the most common meat that you'll find in a lot of countries. The most common meat you'll find in a lot of countries is horse meat.
Oh yeah. I
don't think we can do that.
There was a big damn deal.
It's illegal to slaughter
about
horse.
15 years ago.
It's illegal to slaughter horses.
The horse slaughter. Well, they didn't shut them down. They added regulations to the horse slaughtering facilities in the United States. There were only 2 facilities left.
Yeah.
And they added regulations to them to have more whatever and effectively shut them down. So what ended up happening was you had a whole lot of horses starving to death in the fields because the owners were like, they're useless. They're at the end of their life. I don't want them. And they quit feeding them. So they were like skeletal horses starving to death in the fields where they were just neglected and ignored because these animal rights, bleeding heart, ridiculous goobers were like, oh, they're killing horses. We need to shut down the slaughter facilities so that they'll live forever. Horses don't live forever. They have a natural life. And they shut down the one outlet for the owners to humanely dispose of their horses. And then it literally created an issue of horses starving to death in fields.
But I think the animal rights people, they just don't want the animals to be. I think they would go along with whether or not they eat the meat. I think they would go along with it if they were 100% guaranteed it was done humanely. A lot of them are like that.
They don't care. Human rights advocates.
Some of them.
They don't care about animals. They care about attaining power and
they care about the cause.
Through a cause.
I think it depends because I have a lot of friends who love animals, and they'll be for as long as the animal, you kill it humanely. They're about that. Because they understand that not everyone's going to be a vegetarian or that not everyone can do that for medical reasons.
Well, we've had very humane ways to kill animals at slaughterhouses for decades. They just don't care.
Yeah, but horse is a delicacy. I mean, you can get horse meat all over Europe. In most countries, you can get horse meat. But we have a special relationship with horses in the United States. And that was part of the that was part of the
frontier history and stuff, yeah.
But the reality is, these people were outraged over the fact that horses were being killed. And like the disconnect was they wanted to shut down the slaughterhouses, but there was still the and then what question that was never answered. Like, what's going to happen these horses that otherwise would be going to the slaughterhouse, and they didn't have a good answer to that. And
that's kind of the downfall of advocacy. That most advocacy groups don't see the second and third order.
Yeah, a lot of them have to answer that question, and the good ones do.
And what do they say?
What question?
If they actually cared about the horses, they would have bought all the horses up before.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. And then what is, some of them get shipped off to Mexico, but it costs money to ship them off to Mexico. Where there's a lot of money to ship horses.
But what makes you think that if they go to Mexico, they're gonna have a better life than?
Oh no, they go to Mexico to get slaughtered. That's where the slaughterhouses are. Mexican slaughterhouses and Canadian slaughterhouses.
Then what's the point of? Okay, in the way you're describing it, it almost seems like the advocates are. It's like a catch-22. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. So they mean well, but the process of how we process food maybe doesn't allow for their advocacy to be what they think it is.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So you
if
nailed
they
it.
really want to be advocates, then they need to change the way we operate our system.
Yep. But
and I don't know if there's a clear answer because we've been debating food policy in our country forever.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
There isn't a clear answer to it, and that's the reality of the thing.
Well, here's the problem.
Our food industry is what it says it is. It is an industry. It is
here's the problem with
farms where ma and pa go out and pick radishes and feed cows and
but here's the problem with that.
And do all that. It's a fucking factory.
And I'll give you a really good example.
On one side and food comes out the other.
I'll give you a really good example of all that stuff because there's a I want to call it a ranch, but not far. I think it's over in Conroe, actually, Lake Conroe. Joe. It's near Conroe, and they have like natural. It's like grain fed cows and stuff like that, and animals. And the thing is, it's like if you go to their website and you want to get, say, a gallon of milk, you know how much that gallon of milk is going to cost you?
I can imagine it would be something like $5 or $6.
$10 for a gallon of milk.
For what? Wait, what kind of milk?
Or
cow's milk, like regular
full-on organic cow's milk.
Yeah, full-on organic, free-range cow milk. If you want a dozen eggs from them, $5 for a dozen eggs.
But that's true with a lot of organics. But I do notice in my area, a lot of the produce isn't as expensive as it used to be for
that's
organic.
Animals,
but however, I do notice milk is a lot higher organic.
But and if you take it out of the industrial setting and put it in the pastoral setting, meat is more expensive.
Yeah, you're gonna be
animal products are more
2 times what you normally pay now.
And vegetables are much cheaper, and you end up eating more vegetables and eating less meat, and that's just a natural function of
when people
a pastoral economy versus an industrial
and then when people can't afford the meat,
produces a shit ton of meat.
And when people can't afford the meat that's being raised, in a healthier environment for the animal, guess what? That industry collapses.
Well, exactly. It's not designed for industrial scale, and that's why you have giant feedlots that pump animals full of pharmaceuticals to keep them healthy for the period of time that they have to stand in packed kennels and get fed into the meat machine.
I mean,
it's not pleasant. It's gross when you actually see it happening. When you drive past a feedlot, it stinks. The air's thick. That nasty smell literally hangs in particles in the air, and it sticks to your clothes.
And I always feel bad for the workers, Think about if you had to do that for a living.
Yeah. But when you also walk through a car factory, it's kind of the same way, except without the shit hanging in the air.
There's somebody behind you.
Well, that's creepy. Moose Cow, you've got a ghost.
No, that's my father. I'll put my avatar on so he's not on.
That's all right.
Dad, say hello.
That's the thing about advocate groups, about animal rights.
Say hello. Hello.
They don't, I would like to have free range chickens run around and stuff and have cattle free range and everything, but then you run into the problem of you're going to ideal versus price of the end product, and it's going to be unaffordable.
It's ideal versus practical, and there's a balance between the two. Mm-hmm. industrial chicken production doesn't mean you take them and punt them into cages. You can actually lift them and like throw them into cages with your hands.
That's always a problem of like of animal rights groups and ecologists and stuff like that, is that they're like their solutions always end with a lot of people starving to death.
Yeah, and well, a lot of times, yeah. I mean, that's the end result of deindustrialization of the food chain. I mean, industrializing the food chain has allowed millions of people to eat and reduce the cost of food from 50 to 75% of your household budget to down to less than 10%. We spend hardly anything on food nowadays.
But what cost to our health? Because we produce a lot of processed food. See?
Well, yeah. Plus, also, when food is cheaper, you tend to eat more. I mean, even if it's processed food. I mean, if chicken costs, if protein is 40% of your household
technically
budget,
all meat is processed. So,
but if protein is 40% of your household budget, you eat a certain amount. If the cost of that meat goes down to 20% of your household budget, or 10% of your household budget, or 5% of your household budget, well, now you're eating a lot more meat. And if you're eating a lot, if you have the ability to buy more, you eat more. And if you eat more, it's still bad for your health, whether it's good food or bad food. Too much steak is still too much. And the way you get fat is you eat too much. I mean, I don't think that's an expert at getting fat.
I don't think that's a supply. I don't think that's a supply problem as much as it is a self-discipline problem.
Oh, it's a supply problem too.
No, it could be both.
Absolutely a supply problem.
Because if people have the access to the cheaper food and that's all they could afford, then they're just going to buy that. And so our suppliers,
there's that too.
Because there's a lot of people that question from time to time, why is it that like potato chips will be cheaper than buying the potatoes to make your own food? You know what I mean?
Well,
and we always, in my view, it seems like we don't value healthy. Sure, there are fatty, healthy foods, like the is granola really healthy, that sort of thing. But I'm talking about like I wish organics wasn't as expensive, because if they're going to eat meat, I would rather people produce meat in a healthier way, not only for our bodies, but for the workers who have to work in these places.
Okay, I've had a long day.
Don't worry, Lisa. We're wrapping up in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to bed now.
All right. Well, Lisa's going to tap.
Co-host, I think I can probably get away with that.
Damn it! This cough just will not go away.
Yeah, there's just no pretty way of doing that stuff.
But part of it is
exactly. I don't think there's a one size fits all answer to all of this.
There isn't.
I just think that we need a better system. But what it's supposed to look like, I don't have a clue. I just wish people, because there's a lot of places in America, and Michelle Obama pointed this out, there are what is called food deserts.
There's a lot of those. When you travel around, you see a lot of these places. Yeah.
And then the problem is they don't have access to the fresh produce and this. Never mind it being organic. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah. There's a lot of places, communities, like whole-on communities, that they don't, like, there's not a grocery store. The only store is a Quickie Mart or someplace like that. But that's an economic question. The more fundamental, like, changing the system is not
easy.
A lot of times we have the system we have because we have the system we have.
But that doesn't mean it's always the best way.
No, it doesn't mean it's always the best way, but it means it's the most effective, affordable way we have. And to change it requires a tremendous amount. To change it would be more,
or a leap in technology somewhere
expensive
that we don't have yet.
Just tweak it, and we see that with power plants. Coal power plants, gas power plants versus, changing the entire infrastructure to allow for solar and wind. To change the infrastructure to allow for solar. What on earth is that? Is that me?
No.
Well, solar and wind is not.
But to change the infrastructure to allow for solar means a distributed infrastructure for solar panels on basically every rooftop, because you can't have a central. I mean,
well, it's also inconsistent source though too.
The
Because if you don't have wind,
there's a technology
or
piece to it
or clouds in the sky will knock that out.
But the bigger problem is the infrastructure we have is designed for a central power plant distributing power to the people. It goes from, because that was the preferred design at the very, very, very beginning in the Edison days. That was the preferred design of a central power plant versus everybody having a power generator in their building or in their house. You didn't want everybody having a power generator in their house. The
thing is, you can have solar. You can have solar stuff on your house, but the thing about it is that currently there's a couple main big issues with having solar panels. Is that number one, they're extremely expensive, and number two, they break down real easy. So the technology is not consistent. Maybe in the future, I don't know.
Having researched it for my own house, I can assure you both of those things are not true. The biggest thing is the inconsistent power generation, because you only get 12 hours a day of sunlight, obviously, and that's not consistent.
And then you still need a source. You still need a source to store.
Yeah, you need a baseline source of power.
Like a battery.
Even if everybody has solar panels in their house, you still need a power plant somewhere producing power for the rest of the day.
Yeah, because my grandparents have solar panels on their home, but it's number one, it was egregiously expensive for them to put that in there, to have those installed. And then number two, it was only supplemental. They still needed to their, I mean, they drastically lowered they cut it by half, their electric bill, but still, they still needed a consistent source of electricity.
And part of that
can do it.
Part of that also is the infrastructure of design. If you build a house that's designed to use 1,500 kilowatt hours a day or whatever it is, or a month, then it's much easier to put solar panels on that house versus houses that were designed to just use whatever electricity came, because electricity costs 4 cents a kilowatt hour.
But how much is that house going to cost to buy though?
Well, that's the idea of making more efficient houses. You can, when you build it to spec, you amortize that out over 30 years, and it's much cheaper.
I wonder how that would pay off.
It costs like $25 a month.
Yeah.
And I can put the house that I have now is 15 years old, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 years old. It's efficient enough that I could put solar panels on my roof that would produce enough power to power my house. My previous house that I lived in was more energy efficient, and I could have done the same thing but produce more power. But it also depends on what state, because in the state of Texas, I can produce more power than I need and sell that power back to the grid. In a state like Georgia, you can't do that.
Or you can store it in a battery.
Well, you could theoretically, but in Georgia, you can't do that. In Georgia, you produce the power, and if you produce more than you need, they shake your hand and say, "Good job. Here's a credit against future power needs."
So how many panels do you think you'd need for your house?
My house?
Yeah.
I know exactly the number. It is 32.
Holy crap. How much does a unit cost?
Like the actual cost, if I were to write a check to pay for them, it would, without subsidies or reductions or anything like that, if I were to write a check for it, it would be, I believe the number was $47,000 or $48,000. It's expensive as shit.
Jesus.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but,
does your state give you tax credits and different things?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Incentivizing? Because I think at one point Illinois did.
Yeah, if I were to write a check for it, it would be prohibitively expensive. But if I could finance it out over 25 years and only pay $150 a month, well, now the cost of my electricity is being reduced to zero and transferred from electricity cost to being written to Centerpoint or Reliant or whoever I pay my electricity bill to. Instead of writing a $150 check to TXU, I write a $150 check to solar panel company. And if we generate more than $150 worth of electricity, that goes into a credit account, and I can get that check paid back to me at the end of the year. I get $300-$400 a year, whatever.
Well, what if you have like cloud cover and it's raining for like a few days?
Then over the course of the next 4 or 5 days, it balances out.
Are you like in the dark or what?
Well, no. I mean, we'd still be connected to the grid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't disconnect from the grid. We're still connected to the grid. That's how you sell the energy back to the state.
Okay.
Not the state, the utility. You sell the energy back to the utility, but you sell it back at the same price that you buy it.
That's why,
which is also different from state to state, because some states you sell it back at wholesale price and you buy it at retail price.
That's what I didn't know.
So if you use, for just even numbers, if you use 200 and you generate 250, you sell that extra 50 back at wholesale price. In some states, you sell it back at wholesale price. In some states, you don't ever get to sell it back. You just keep that credit. In some states, you sell it, like Texas, you sell it back at retail price.
Yeah, because I didn't know
Texas is a good state for solar power.
Can you address McTubus's comment here about what you were saying, how much it cost you? Because there's a lot of people who would think like McTubus. Or like, for example, I was talking to my father. Let me preface here. And he's 81 now. But a few years ago, I was talking to him about it. And because he has also a business, and I said, have you ever thought of solar panels? He goes, by the time we do it and it gets going, he won't be around to recuperate his money. So there are a lot of older, or depending on one's age, there's a lot of people who think it's not a good value still. Yeah. Because they don't seem to think
there's a lot of people who think that
way. You know,
like there's a lot of people who think that way, but there's more people who plant trees under whose shade they will never be able to relax.
Okay.
And
but it didn't cost you $45,000 to plant that tree, though, did it?
Yeah, but
so
the future of humanity is built by people who plant forests under which the shade they will never sit.
I get it.
If all you want to do is do things that will support you over the next 5 years, then all of society is fucked.
Okay, so let me ask you this: when you were looking into solar panels for your house, what did they tell you? How did they preface this? Like, how long would it take you to recuperate the value? You know what I'm trying to ask?
It depends on how you pay for it. It depends on it depends on how you pay for it, because I mean, geez, to recuperate the full 40,000, I mean, it'd be 25 years.
Okay, I was just curious. That's what McTubus thought. Maybe 26.
But like it's not just the $46,000 or $48,000, however much, let's say 50. It's not just the $50,000. It's the $200 a month. Because I'm going to pay $200 a month. 183, I think, is my average monthly bill for electricity. Somewhere in that neighborhood. If I can not pay 183 for electricity, but instead pay 183 for an improvement to my house, and then when I sell the house, I get that back.
Okay.
It's the money's going to be spent one way or the other. The question is, where do I spend it? Am I renting or am I buying?
And you just brought up a good point.
Wouldn't
it be better to spend the money at on stuff like on sealing your house better?
That's part of it. I mean, that's absolutely part of it. A more energy efficient house uses the most effective savings in energy is energy you don't spend money on at all. Mm-hmm. Like if you seal your house better, then you literally stop spending $25-$30 a month, whatever.
Because I used to work in construction when I was growing up. When I was a teenager. I can tell you most buildings, including residential buildings, houses and stuff like that, like they're not very well insulated.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're terribly, because the material that they use is not the best, and they're in a hurry, and it's usually not installed properly.
Yeah, builder materials are shit. They're cheap. Absolutely.
So that's what I was saying. Like instead of paying $40,000 or $50,000, just first spend like $10,000 maybe.
Yeah.
And reseal your house, like re-insulate your house.
But to do that, The most cost-effective way to do that is in the building phase, and that only works if you are.
Oh yeah, you'd have to go back and do it retroactively.
Day one.
Yeah,
and you can't go. Like the best way for energy efficiency is we demolish millions of houses and rebuild them. That's not going to happen.
So you have to, in that regard, then let's take Joe for what he
huge leaky energy infrastructure that just leaks energy because we're literally heating up the front yards of cold houses and cooling off the front yards of warm houses.
Okay, so let's take
you
Joe.
Can go back. You can go back and do it retroactively. Like you can do it to your house because I've done it.
Well, yeah, I can replace the windows. I can seal
double
the
pane windows
and attics and stuff like that. Yeah.
But you know what we could do is why don't we? I mean, in theory, we could say new houses should be built on the premise of energy efficiency.
New regulations, absolutely.
But we should be very clear what that is.
Because they do it with hurricanes. They do it with flooding. They say houses need to be at a certain level, or they can't be insured.
But the problem is
security with strappings from the roof. Otherwise, they can't be insured.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
if we're gonna go energy efficient, okay, and we discussed up front, like with your idea of putting solar panels, it costs more money. So housing is already too unaffordable for a lot of people. Would this add too much more cost?
Nope.
You know what I'm? Do you think?
Nope.
In the long run?
It wouldn't. If you actually if you built a house for energy efficiency and you put solar panels on at the time of construction and amortize it out with the cost of the house, the net difference in cost of the mortgage for a house would be something akin to $50 a month.
Okay.
Right, but you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay the price that house is going to be
that $50
up.
a month on the mortgage.
That's what I'm guessing.
The $50 a month on the mortgage would come with an electricity bill that was zero, because the house was designed to use the amount of electricity that the house produces over the course of 12 months. You're still
going to turn a $250,000.
Some months it'll be more. You pay $100 in June, but in December
you're still going to turn
zero, and you get a net credit of $100.
You're still going to turn a $200,000 home into like a $350,000 home.
Because don't you
turn a $200,000 home into a $260,000 home?
Yeah, and that's going to be a bigger.
But it's not a $200,000. It's not a $260,000 home. It's a $1,500 a month home that you turn into a $1,560 a month home with a zero.
But that's after you. But that's after you break even, right?
Not if you buy it from jump.
So if we did it from the get-go,
if it is designed and built that way, your mortgage goes from $1,500 to $1,560, and your electricity bill goes from $120 to zero.
So what's the maintenance cost like on solar panels like that?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Like you gotta sweep them. I think you gotta wipe them off.
I'm just concerned.
But the company that I'm talking to is like it's all that shit.
What if let's say for example like a limb
when it drops
falls
below 90% of its intended production, you just call them and they fix it. It's under warranty.
Oh, okay.
This is very interesting. I don't know much about this.
And I'm in like from 0 to 10. I'm like on level 2 or 3, like in the very, very, very early stages of understanding what it is that I'm trying to understand.
That's okay. At least you're sharing.
It like there's a lot like in the property line within the property lines. I feel like I understand what would be going on here, but the bigger question is what would be going on out there. Like, how does this infrastructure work? Because the reason we got to talking about this was why do we have what we have with the food system? Like why we have what we have with the food system is because we have what we have with the food system. Why we have what we have with electricity is because we have what we have with the electricity. Like changing it requires a tremendous amount of energy and effort. It requires a tremendous amount of effort, money, and focus.
Yeah,
because
you're having to integrate
multi-year push to do this. Like it has to be an intentional policy to do this over the course of 20 years.
I don't disagree with all of that, but think about it from this perspective. Like my grandma told us that one of the greatest things she ever saw in her lifetime is when we went to electricity. So it's not like we never done these big and bold projects before. You know,
we used to be able to do it.
We shouldn't stall the country.
We
shouldn't stall the country in progress because it's going to do all those things you require. Because once upon a time when we started these systems, couldn't we make the same argument that it costs a lot of money? It's going to take a lot of time.
Well, no, because the thing was like whenever we implemented, we built the electricity infrastructure, we were building it from nothing. And it's a lot. It's a lot easier to do it then than whenever you have to integrate.
Yes.
Exactly.
It costs more money when you have to integrate old technology with new technology,
or just changing out the old technology in total.
Because you can't just stop the old technology and get rid of it.
Because you're talking about coal companies, billion-dollar coal companies that naturally would be going out of business, and are naturally going out of business right now because they're going bankrupt. But like those are billion-dollar corporations. This is infrastructure that's changing with changing technology, and it's not stuff that these investors don't want their investments to just poof go away. They've invested a shit ton of money in machines that scoop out dirt.
Yeah,
and
coal companies
deposit rocks and
sift out the rock. Like coal companies can always sell that product.
But there's like this whole multi-billion-dollar chain of equipment that extracts the ore, transports the ore, deposits the ore, shakes it out, separates the rock from the coal, and then distributes it. There's this whole chain of stuff. And you're right. When we built it to begin with, we were building from zero to a thing.
That's true.
And now we have this thing, and we have to go from here to over here. And that takes a tremendous amount of money, a tremendous amount of energy, a tremendous amount of focus. And it takes a long time to do it.
And I'm not saying this because of global warming, but on the premise of coal companies are going out of business, aren't we going to need energy some other way? So don't we have to do this regardless?
No.
Well, there's going to be gas, there's going to be petroleum, there's replacements for coal, but
here's the other thing too. Like you
also
have nuclear. You also have nuclear power.
But the problem with nuclear is where does the waste go? And a lot of people are very leery because of the lobbying problem, and all the companies not necessarily being up to code. A lot of people are leery about where does the waste go, and that's why I don't think that has taken off.
So you take the nuclear waste and you put it in packages and you label them poutine and send them to Canada. They love poutine in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. You just don't tell them what's in it.
But you see,
and then when they get it, they're like, poutine, this is great, eh? And they open it up and they're like, you Americans. But it's too late because they've already got it. And they can't send nuclear waste back to the United States.
We call that the final solution for Canada.
I'm not disagreeing here with what Bull Rush said. It's just that every other alternative, somebody will come up with but what about this aspect? What about this? And
there's trade-offs to everything.
There's plenty of reasons why we can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. Which trade-off are we going to go along with? Nobody seems to come up with a clear path for our country.
Well, that's the other thing is that the technology, and there's a technology issue too.
There is a legitimate technology
because
issue.
The thing about like with solar panels they're good, but it's like it's taken them like 40 years to develop to come to a product like solar panels that can go on a house. It's taken them almost half a century to perfect it this far. And it's still not really efficient because it's inconsistent source of power.
To be completely fair, the electricity transmittal system that we have now has been working for a century. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's, they've been doing this for a century and they're well subsidized. They're well supported. Mm-hmm. And they've been doing it for a century. And it's that focused, prolonged effort to change the infrastructure and change the focus. It's not easy, but there's plenty of reasons why we can come up. There's plenty of reasons we can come up with for why it can't be done. But the reality is that it can be done, and it's been done in the past, and we can do it again. There's a reason why the skyline of London isn't choked out by coal dust, because in the 1860s they stopped burning coal and.
But they also pay like $8 for a gallon of gas, though.
Yeah, well, that's not necessarily a bad idea. It's not a great thing. I mean, gas is expensive. Don't get me wrong, but
it's not a good idea if you live in a rural area, though.
It's not a good idea if you voluntarily bought a truck.
Yeah.
So, if you have to drive a truck, $8
trucks
gas.
get good gas mileage nowadays.
Nowadays, they do now because gas went up to like $6. So they were like, shit, we got to make more efficient.
Didn't we put fuel standards? Didn't we have fuel standards?
There's a reason we have fuel standards.
Yeah,
there's a reason we have all of this stuff because companies won't voluntarily do it. They have to be forced, at least nudged, incentivized to do it. Otherwise,
to give you an example,
they fight to the bottom of the barrel.
Well, yeah, but also too now it's like if you buy a modern truck and you have to go get the oil change, it's like $100 for an oil change because all the emission standards on it. My buddy across the street, my neighbor, it cost him $150 to get his oil change on his new Dodge Ram. I mean, because it took a special filter and stuff that you can't get at a store and stuff. And also too, if you haven't noticed, like the price of especially trucks have spiked over the past 20 years. I mean, they're insane. You used to be able to get a decent truck for like 20 grand. Now you're paying 40 and 45, 50 grand.
Like the old trucks, you can get those still. You can still find them for like $5 grand.
Yeah.
And they have like 500,000 miles on them, and they still run like just top. They're amazing trucks.
But it's yeah, but I mean, because of the emission standards and stuff on especially trucks, it's made the base price of them skyrocket.
That's
to where it's not affordable to a lot of people. And if you're in a place that you need a truck, or you have stuff that you need a utility vehicle.
Yeah, and I'm going to be in that place too. My next vehicle is probably going to be a truck of some sort, whether it's a Sprinter, van, or a full-on truck. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a new one or if I'm just going to have to buy one that's 10 years old that has 500,000 miles on it. But do what you got to do. If you got to do it, you got to do it. We are over. What's up, Moose Cow?
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Well, I am committed to the principle of cramming a 2-hour show into 2 hours, and we have crammed a 2-hour show into 2 hours. This has been a fantastic last 30 minutes. Bravo, guys. Thank you so much for a lively, fun discussion. I had no idea we were going to talk about this shit.
It's very interesting. Thank you for sharing your experience.
And it's for what it's worth, like this sort of thing. This is what I think about. Like you've seen me talk about this shit when I do my day in the life in the distilling, in the distillery, when I just turn on, and this is the stuff I talk about. I love supply chain infrastructure, how it is, why it is, exploring the details of this stuff. And it's fun. It's fun to know how we got where we are. But I'm never, ever, ever, well, I don't know if I can't say never. I'm reluctant to say that we're where we are and this is where we have to be. Because we can always change where we're at.
I think we need to drop a tactical nuke in downtown Houston and build that place from scratch. The traffic there is horrible.
Building from that's one of the where we're at. Like the lesson to be learned, I think, is that we are where we are because of where we've come from.
Right.
And when you're in a city like Houston, when you're in a major urban area,
well, it wasn't
when you have a catastrophic thing like the pandemic that happened and a bunch of buildings go empty, when you start building back and things start getting back to normal, you have those empty buildings and people have an incentive to sell those empty buildings to people. So we have the infrastructure to watch movies in our living room on a big screen TV with surround sound and digital theater arts. But
I just don't like the traffic though.
But they also have theaters. And as long as they have giant theaters with 75 screens that are the size of a barn, we will always have theaters. Because AMC has a business model that tells them that they need to incentivize you to go to the theater. And
aren't they collapsing right now?
Figure that shit out.
Like, aren't the theater?
Well, AMC was collapsing.
Aren't they like?
Didn't people buy their stock?
AMC had a problem in the middle stages of the pandemic, about 6 or 9 months in, because nobody was going to the theater, and their revenue.
But I mean, before that though, before that,
they were having a problem with their revenue collapsing and their rent staying the same, but they reorganized their debt so that it was down here, and then the revenue kind of balanced out, and they got past that. They were going to be the next GameStop because their
That's
revenues
what I was getting at. Yeah.
Their revenues were falling. They thought there was going to be a crunch with the debt, but
because I don't know how long it's been since I've been to a theater. Like, I got a 65.
It's been a while for me.
I got a 65-inch screen TV and like a surround sound in my.
I know, right? You don't have to go if you don't want to.
Going along with what Brewer's is saying, there have like out of Illinois, there have been talk about old theaters. You know, like
drive-in ones.
Like mom and pops, not your big conglomerates. We're gonna go out of business because of the way they were showing film, the kind of films they were showing. Not the digital kind. Yeah. And so we had a theory that maybe they would go to the wayside like malls are going. Then there was this theory that with streaming services, regular movie theaters might go by the wayside because as you were saying, we can do that from home now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just like how Redbox knocked out Blockbuster.
Right.
You know? But it's just technology happens and we find more efficient ways of doing things, which is what a lot of the infrastructure problems seem to be now. But sooner or later, they're gonna get solved because some whiz kid or some group is gonna come out with better technology that's more efficient.
Yeah,
and we'll implement it.
The deeper story with the Blockbuster collapse is fascinating.
It is
absolutely fascinating because it wasn't. People think it was just a simple linear. Blockbuster was in decline, Netflix was in the ascendance, and Netflix took over Blockbuster. Done. Blockbuster was building out the infrastructure to try to do the same thing that Netflix was doing, but what Blockbuster had that Netflix didn't have was rent. They had facilities, they had inventory, they had infrastructure, they had debt that they could not. It's the story of we are what we are because we were what we were, and Blockbuster couldn't make the pivot as efficiently as Netflix could, and Netflix did it. Blockbuster couldn't. Netflix won. Blockbuster lost. That's it.
Because
it's not as clean and linear as people think because there's a whole lot of finance that happened, and
I get it. Yes, you're correct because if you're just online. Your business model, you can save all the other costs.
Yeah, they didn't have rent.
That's why, because of the pandemic, when the people said, I don't think I want to go in an office anymore, the businesses are like, wait a minute. Yeah. Maybe we should look into this.
Yeah. And
somebody told me the other day when I went shopping at the dollar store that they have a friend who works for the airlines of Delta, but they do all the customer service from home now.
Yeah. We are where we are because of where we've been. And people think that free will is a thing and you can be from here, you can go from point A to point F however you want, whenever you want. But the reality is you go from point A to point B and B to C and C to D and D to E.
There's always a between.
You cannot skip those steps. You go from A to B and B to C. You are where you are because of where you were. And that's why we have 26 screen theaters because we had 4 screen theaters. And if we didn't have the theaters right now, we would have home box offices. And we wouldn't have Disney Plus where you could watch all the Marvel movies for free. You'd have to pay money for that shit.
Right.
Well, the other thing, it's like with the working
above and beyond the monthly subscription, you'd have to pay money for that shit.
Yeah, it's like working from home. It's like people are like, why didn't we start this sooner? It's like, well, we just got the internet like 20 years ago. Number one. Number two, some people live in an area where they don't get a consistent internet connection. So
true.
That's something that they got to.
And then there's a whole question of, is it doable when you have children? I would think it would be harder to stay at home and have have a little baby or toddlers and also work from home.
It is extremely hard to work from home when you have a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been a lot easier.
Because, hey, when that 10-year-old, well, the 9-year-old at the time was in school, I was not working. I was being a professor for a 10-year-old.
Oh, in that regard, I get you.
That shit was hard. You got to teach that kid. Like, he had a teacher, and he was in school. But, The TV was right there. And you had to like nudge him and make sure he was in school because otherwise he's on a computer.
That was a unique circumstance.
Yeah.
That was the pandemic. So,
I mean, but anyway, y'all have heard of the Southern goodbye, right?
no.
All right. So the Southern goodbye is when you tell everybody, all right, well, I'm leaving. And you get up and you start telling Nana and Grandpa and Noni and Uncle Steve and Mike and your sister and your brother and you go down the whole line of people. And then 10 minutes later, you move to the front door and you do it all again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So 10 minutes ago, I said it's time to wrap up this show.
But before you go, McTubus has a question for you.
Oh yeah, I saw a couple of questions that McTubus had. Update on the Brussels sprouts episode.
Brussels
sprouts. So where was it? This is it. When will we see the Brussels sprouts show? I'm gonna say in 2 weeks. We need to get Lisa and my lovely wife in the same room so that they can whip up the dishes. There will be 3 dishes of Brussels sprouts that I will eat live on the air, on the tubes, this show, because I am a vocal, outspoken critic of Brussels sprouts. I do not think they need to be. They're trash, and that's how they should be treated. You should put them on your plate and slide them off the plate into the trash can. But everybody insists that there's such a thing as a good Brussels sprouts dish. And I have 3 dishes that will be prepared for me. And I will be honest in my assessment. I've eaten a hot chip. I've eaten hot nuts. I've eaten another hot chip. I've eaten plain old chips. I've done the Pringles and Lay's 1 chip challenge where you can't just
your chat doesn't believe you.
I will do. I don't give a shit if they believe me or not. It's my show. I can do it whenever I want.
You have trust issues with your chat,
but we're gonna go with 2 weeks, and I'm putting my culinary palate in my lovely wife and Lisa's hands. They are going to feed me. They are going to feed me the who's got the after party? Who wants the after party? Eric? Eric can't do the after party. Who wants the after party tonight? Speak up or forever hold your shit.
I mean, no limits. Are you really surprised that he said that? Because I'm not.
What's it say?
It's basically an inevitability.
Yeah, I did. I put hot nuts in my mouth, and there.
Ooh la la!
I have the plate, the box. Is it this box? I think this is the box. Yeah, here it is. The hot nuts.
The death nuts.
The devil's nuts were in my mouth. The death nut in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That was suck. That was a shitty. I mean, there's no joy in the Pocky 1 chip challenge, but there is no. That is just those nuts are full of hate. They yuck. That was not pleasant. That yuck. I got nothing good to say about that. Anyway, Moose Cow, plug your shit.
What do you want me to do?
Plug your stuff. What you've got the screen. I'm going to give it to you. Plug whatever you want to plug.
My name is Christina, and my channel is called Moose Gal's Corner, and I make nature videos. But eventually, I will do book reviews, and I will show off my knitting, and I will go live sometime in the near future.
There you go. All right. Undo that. Bull Rush. Plug your shit. You've got the screen.
LazarusRazor.com. That's about it.
There you go.
That works.
Now, rumor is you make razor blades. You restore razor blades that will actually cut the fabric of space-time itself. Is that correct?
Yeah, I restore straight razors.
So we need to. We really do.
And safety razors.
Like having doing a straight razor whiskey like package.
Ooh, McTubus.
Shit, man.
McTubus is challenging you.
I gotta cut this pelt off at some point. What is McTubus challenging?
The challenge?
Well, kind of. He says that you need to tell them the exact date.
I need to be all like, woman, give me that damn Brussels sprouts and bring it here February 17th. I don't know, whatever date. Now, you see, I don't care if they ever bring me Brussels sprouts, to be quite honest, but I've committed to doing the challenge. They need to talk amongst themselves and decide when and how we're going to do it. I'm okay with having a little napkin around the neck, plate, knives. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's eat it. I'm in. I'll put that little devil's balls in my mouth. Whatever they are.
They're really not bad.
Yeah, they are. They're terrible.
They're just they look like mini cabbages.
That doesn't make it better. I mean, the only benefit of them being mini cabbages is that they're smaller than cabbages, but they still taste like cabbage, and cabbage is trash.
Okay. Will it make you happy to know my mother never liked Brussels sprouts? Okay. So as a kid, we can never eat them. Because I said, Mommy, can we get the mini cabbages? She goes, no, I don't eat Brussels sprouts. So I was an adult when I had them.
Much to learn, Padawan.
McTubus is on fire.
See, there's a lot of vegetables and fruits that I did not eat as a kid. So it's entirely possible. I'm willing to accept the possibility on the remote notion that my palate has changed and I can and Brussels sprouts are not as dreadful as I remember them being.
That's true.
That's the way it was with green peas with me.
I'm willing to accept that. But until that happens, the reality is Brussels sprouts are trash. They need to be lit on fire and launched at the French. They just fuck them. They're the worst.
Only time will tell if you ever do the episode. We'll know.
Because asparagus. I mean, oranges. I didn't eat an orange until I was like 20-something. Strawberries. I did not like strawberries.
Oh, I love strawberries.
I was in my mid-20s. I ate apples and grapes as a kid. Bananas. Apples, grapes, and bananas. Those were my fruits. Vegetables, like I'd eat lettuce occasionally, but like green beans, I hated green beans. Peas.
So you're very picky.
I was a very picky person. I don't think I ate a whole lot of green stuff when I was a kid. Mostly carrots and potatoes. Anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to send you all to the basement and close out the show. We are done with our Southern
Good night. Good night.
Good night, guys. Let me send y'all to the basement. If I can. There we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, children of all ages, this is the exciting conclusion to the show. Thank you all for joining us for the last couple of hours. It has been fun. It has been a rousing, exciting discussion. You can find our whiskey anywhere across the state of Texas. And if you cannot find it in the place where you're at, send me a message and we'll see if we can't get it in your hands in the place where you're at. As Lisa would say, be sure to spay and neuter your cats. If you're local in the area, come out and see us on Saturdays. We're open from 1 to 4 every Saturday. And since you stopped by, kind viewer and traveler, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell, all that shit. And check us out in the morning for our Vlogmas 2021 daily post up through New Year's Eve. Be awesome to each other. Let's have our parting shot. Be awesome to each other. Stand tall. Drink humble. Cheers. Good night. Mm.